Hi students, welcome to Vijayata IAS Academy Current Affairs class. We are doing this video as part of Prelims 2022 through news editorials and articles. In today's newspaper, in the Hindu newspaper, there is an article related to science. This is saying a day to embody the true spirit of science. First we see what is the crux of this article. Then we see what are various issues that we can identify for Prelims 2022. It is talking about different identities existing in Indian society and how they hinder about India's progress in science. It is talking one should come out of these regional or different identities, then only science will progress, because then only individual strength will grow. Let us see. The broad theme about this article is saying we grow, we means Indians grow with a loss of self, learn to subsume our worth as an individual. An Indian is thus culturally turned to uphold the family's integrity, religion, caste, regional identity, rather than her individual strengths. It is talking we Indians are more prone to uphold the regional identity, caste identity, and religion identity, family identity, than growing individually and increasing the individual strength. Indian need to free themselves from the cultural chains of past to foster original thinking. Unless we break these chains, they are like chains. Individual mind cannot think beyond these chains. Unless we break these identities, we cannot grow individually. He is talking about the thinking, original thinking will not grow if we cannot break these obstruction or break these chains, cultural chains. Science is an alliance of free spirits in all cultures, rebelling against the local tyranny that each culture imposes on its children. It is talking about it is not peculiar to Indian culture or Indian science. In every society, such kind of cultures imposed on their children. Those societies expect their children to follow the same identities what were coming for so many centuries. They do not expect the children to think originally, but to uphold what is their culture is saying for many centuries. It is true about Europeans also, it is true about Asians also, so everywhere. Unless people break these chains, then only original thinking do grow. In case of Europe also, during the time period of Renaissance, these cultural things were there. Those who rebelled against these cultures, then only some people rebelled against this culture, then only modern science grew. In terms of Copernicus, Galileo, Newton, those were the people who were working or who were living in the times when culture was dominant, when culture was imposing its values on the society. These people rebelled against this kind of culture, then only science grew in those societies. So it is talking something like this. Unless we come out of these chains, individual mind cannot grow. This is the broad spectrum or broad theme of this particular article. Why today means today is National Science Day. National Science Day is celebrated every year on February 28th in honor of Chandrasekhar Venkataraman or C.V. Raman, popularly known as C.V. Raman. On his honor, we are celebrating National Science Day to foster spirit of science in every individual mind. He discovered, let us talk about, now come to Prelims 2022. This is the broad theme. Now what we have to see for Prelims 2022. It is talking about Chandrasekhar Venkataraman. So it is, we should know who is C.V. Raman and what his contribution for the science. He discovered Raman Effect and he was awarded for this Nobel Prize in 1930. Since 1987, National Science Day is being celebrated in India. In this, for prelims, we have to see what is Raman Effect. Raman Effect is talking about, it talks about the changing wavelength of ray of light. It is the basis for Raman spectroscopy used by chemists and physicists to gain information about materials. It is about light effect. It is like when light passes through certain materials, the wavelength of certain waves change. Certain part of light wavelength changes, but most of the part of light do not change. But due to this difference, due to this change when light passes through material, different type of rays emerge out of this material. This effect is called Raman effect. This has a lot of applications in different fields. For example, in material, in identifying, for example, diamond. To know the purity of diamond, Raman effect is used. And in chemistry also, for identifying certain components in chemical compounds, Raman effect is used. So it is mainly about to know the properties of material. These materials, the applications of Raman effect can vary from different field to different field. From medical field also it can be used, from chemistry also it can be used, from physics, in physics also it can be used. So like that, because of this revolutionary thought, he was awarded in 1930 Nobel Prize as well. Now we have to see who are the other Nobel Prize winners from India who contributed for science. C.V. Raman won, and Hargobind Khorana, S. Chandrasekhar, Subramanian Chandrasekhar, and Venkatraman Ramakrishnan. These are the four important people who got Nobel Prize for contribution towards science. And now we connect, because C.V. Raman was living during British time period. Now we should know what was the progress of science during British time. There you can remember certain names. Jagadish Chandra Bose. He was a biologist, physicist and botanist. He was popularly known for identifying the life in plants. So J.C. Bose or Jagadish Chandra Bose. And Satyendranath Bose, another scientist. He was known for working with Albert Einstein in quantum mechanics. So he was also important for in this context. You can just connect during British time period important scientists Jagadish Chandra Bose, Satyendranath Bose, and who got Nobel Prize for science development C.V. Raman, Hargobind Khorana, S. Chandrasekhar and Venkatraman Ramakrishnan. These are the names you can identify, you can remember. These will be useful in prelims. And objectives of National Science Day as well. If there is any statement question, one or two statement may come from objectives of National Science Day as well. Broadly, they are like descriptive. Broadly, you can think to share the significance of scientific applications in our daily life, to display efforts and achievements in the field of science, to discuss new technologies for development of science, to provide opportunities to the scientific minds of our country, to popularize science and technology. So everything related to science, how to promote science and what so far developments took place and how in future new science is required for human life. So those are the objectives of celebrating National Science Day. And this article is also mentioned about CSIR, Council of Scientific and Industrial Research. It is a body that was founded in 1942. Though it was funded by Ministry of Science and Technology, it acts autonomously under Societies Registration Act 1860. So this is also important for prelims. And one more aspect related to constitution is fundamental duty. There is a fundamental duty to develop scientific temper, humanism and spirit of inquiry and reform. It is one of the fundamental duties of our Indian constitution. It is talking about fundamental duty. This also important when it comes to polity question. Article 51A of our constitution is about the fundamental duties. One of the fundamental duties is about scientific temper. So these are various aspects that you can link for our prelims 2022 from this article. Thank you.